So this is how I made this beat. So here we go. Hope you guys are ready.
Where do you see yourself in 20 years from now?
If God give me breath for 20 more years, I see myself changing the world. Because my thought patterns are so opposite of what's the norm.
Really?
So I would have to change the world, or I have to be changed by the world, by the world, by the world.
Heavy on my mind, I've been stressing it. Dealing with the pressures of the world, you know that can get crazy to say the least. I'm hoping for signs of peace, I'm knowing that we should be all living in unity. But we got agendas causing us to divide. Dealing with demons they can no longer hide. That's what we're facing now. They wanna take our differences and make us go to war. You hating me, I'm hating you, but what we fighting for? Really it's just to keep us lost and confused. We outraged at what we see in the news. This is the media though. They show us stories that'll make us hate each other, forgetting that we're all supposed to be sisters and brothers. They really playing us to do the dirty work for them. Chaos on me, I'm the us, but what's it worth to them? They power tripping, stripping of us all our race now. Just open up your eyes and you can see the light now.
Originally, when I was sampling Tame Impala, I had a whole different concept in mind, a completely different idea, a completely different beat, and I just really wasn't sold on the track that I had picked. And so I kept digging, and I found this track right here. And I was very impressed with the track because it spoke to me, but I really wasn't sure what it was saying. And it just made me feel a way. So this is the track that I selected by Tame Impala, which eventually ended up being this track that I use here. So the track is called Borderline by Tame Impala. And I heard it and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And so I grabbed the sample and I said, let me see what I can do with this thing. And so So when I heard that, it put me in a mood. Like I was like, it was real mysterious, real dope, but also real heavy. So I knew it had to be a real serious track. It had to be a deep enough track to make it make sense to the beat. So I went ahead and played some keys over it just to kind of double up the chords that are in the track. So I just threw this in here, just kind of like I use a VST called Electrics on this one. It's an old school VST that's just like a electric keyboard. So I just use this. It's actually pretty cheap right now. It's a $10 VST. I grabbed it online a couple days ago, and it just plays out like this. So just played that over the beat, because that's in the beat. When I raise this to the transpose of the sample, that's the notes that it ended up playing. So I just played that. This is Electrics right here. It's pretty cool. Dope VST, real small, doesn't take up a bunch of space. And like I said, it's only $10 right now at ADSR right now. So shameless plug. And I threw the bass in. Obviously the bass has to be dope on a sample track. So I grabbed the bass, jumped in, and so that was my bass line, and then I got a little vinyl sample to go over the whole track to give it a dope feel. So for actual production, for the beat itself. Now, I also at the beginning of the track, I know you heard the sample. It was a Tupac interview, and it was a real rare interview. And Tupac is basically, he's asked the question, where would he be in 20 years? And he says, I want to change the world. He said, because I think differently than most people, and either I change the world or the world would change me. And I thought even more like that's real deep, and that's basically how I live my life. So I'm like, yo, that's really, it makes sense for the concept of the track that I was on. So I grabbed that sample.
If God gives me breath for years, I see myself changing the world. Because my thought patterns are so opposite of what's the norm. Really? So I would have to change the world, or I have to be changed by the world.
So I grabbed that and threw that in there. And now here's the drums. So I got to the drums, and I use Playbeat. Now Playbeat is dope because it allows you to program a beat automatically. Now I still program my own beat, but I like the flexibility that it gives me because it allows me to do pitch shifts within the actual software. So I use this string right here, and a little bit of this right here. So very simple beat, very simple pattern. I wanted to keep it like the old school, I got something to say type of sample. Last night I wanted to hear like a drum drop on my track when it transitioned from the chorus to the verse. And so I went and grabbed this sample from the Roots. And on the track called Silent Treatment, they had this really dope drum loop intro. And I grabbed that and I just took it and threw it on the track. All right, so you'll hear it in the track. For some reason I can't play it, but so then I went ahead and I'm like, you know what? I want vocals on this track. So I sang the vocals on the track. I wrote it out last night. I sang the vocals on the track, but I got contacted a couple people that I know that P knows. And I was like, hey, I need your vocals on this track for me. Because Corey suggested last week that we solicit help from other people outside of our ThreeBeatsLater camp. So I'll play you what I vocalized. I won't call it singing, but what I spewed from my face.
I've been waiting for.
I've been waiting for all this time to say it.
That's what I did. And then I called Chanel, who was on a couple of P songs. A big shout out to Chanel. And I was like, hey, I need you to send me these vocals over this track.
Believe. All right, I gotta interject. I'm sorry. Wait a minute. I can't let these atrocities continue. You really called Chanel. Yo, shout out Chanel.
Big shouts to Chanel. But can I finish? Can I finish? Because there's more.
Right,
there's
fine.
more.
Okay.
There's more. There's more. So I called Chanel, and of course Chanel blessed it. So Chanel just did her thing on the track, and she sent it to me. Now, dope, good. Amazingly enough, all of this was recorded on iPhone, right in the audio recorder on iPhone, and sent to me and loaded into Ableton, and then edited through Ableton. So my vocals, her vocals, all from iPhone. So here are her vocals.
I've been waiting for all this time to say it. How could I ignore? How was I to know it's time to say it?
All right, so that was her vocals. And I was like, you know what? That's really dope. But let me see how far we can take this. So I called Ashley. And I got Ashley to send me her vocals too. And so now this is what Ashley sent me back. P.
I've been waiting for all this time to say it. How could I ignore? How was I to know it's time to say it?
I was like, you know what? That's dope. So let me jump on the track too. So I rapped a verse, but I didn't want to use my voice. I wanted it to be deeper and more raw. So I transposed my voice using this really cool track, this VST called Nectar 3. So for Nectar 3, here's what I did to my own vocals.
Lately things have been heavy on my mind, I've been stressing it, dealing with the pressures of the world, you know that can get crazy to say the least. I'm hoping for signs of peace, I'm knowing that we should be all of it in unity, but we got agendas causing us to divide, dealing with demons they can no longer hide. That's what we're facing now. They want to take our differences and make us go to war. You hating me, I'm hating you, but what we fighting for? Really it's just to keep us lost and confused. We outraged at what we see in the news. That's just the media though. They show us stories that'll make us hate each other, forgetting that we're all supposed to be sisters and brothers. They're really playing us to do the dirty work for them. Chaos and mayhem to us, but what's the worth to them? They power tripping, stripping of us all our rights now. Just open up your eyes and you can see the light now.
So that is my track.